Hello everybody, this is MarioandSonicPWN here, and today I have a special video. We're going to be recording a video on Sonic the Hedgehog after the sequel. This is a fan game that just came out, a couple days ago, and it is made by Lake Feppard, as you saw in the intro there. I will have a link in the description to his channel, and also a link to download the game. It's a really good fan game. Basically, the deal with it is trying to be a game that happens in between Sonic 2 and Sonic 3, kind of tying their storylines together of, what happened after Sonic defeated the Death Egg and everything. So he's eventually going around with Tails and trying to destroy Eggman's evil schemes again. And this actually is a sequel as of itself to a game that came out, I don't know, about a year and a half ago or something. I actually haven't played it, called Sonic Before the Sequel. That was supposed to tie together Sonic 1 and 2. So basically this is after the sequel. It's a really fun game, and basically, as it says up there, this game was made by one guy and 6 musicians for the most part. Basically, a few other guys helped out with the artwork and stuff. But it's free, so because of course if it wasn't free, it would kind of be illegal since copyrighted characters and all that. But since it's free, I definitely recommend downloading this game. It's super awesome, and support this guy's work. He's doing really cool stuff. So we're gonna start out here with Horizon Heights Zone. Now, just before you ask or something like that, I am actually not planning to do a full Let's Play on this game or anything. This is just a one-time video. I'm only planning to just do the first stages, Horizon Heights Zone, the whole thing. And I don't plan on doing the whole Let's Play, maybe at some point, but just right now I'm doing other Let's Plays and stuff, and I don't know, I just don't feel like I really want to do a whole Let's Play of this game right now. But at some point in the future, I may. There are some other people who are doing Let's Plays of this game too, though, so if you do want to watch a Let's Play, then, you can check out some other people's stuff. But I really wanted to do a video on this game just because it is awesome. Now, one of the things you can hear in the background, the music for this game is one of the best things about this game by far. The music is incredible. He got a team of about 6 musicians, as it said there. One of them I actually had heard of, Falk. He did the Sonic Generations Unleashed project, all those mini remixes and stuff that you hear on the Hub World that you've heard if you watched my Let's Play of that game. He did those remixes and stuff, so he does really good Sonic remixes, and of course the stuff he did for this game is actually original, although some of it is remixes. Also, there's lots of other people who worked on the soundtrack, not just him. He did some of the soundtrack, there's lots of other people who worked on it too. This stage, I don't remember who this stage is actually by. At the start of each stage, if you have time somehow to read those little things to tell you the name of the stage, it actually will tell you who did the music for it. But I didn't have time to read that because it goes away so fast. But one of the coolest things about this game, just in terms of level design, is how much it feels like Sega made it. Like, if you didn't know this was a fan game, then it'd be really hard to tell. Like, it's extremely close to the classic Sonic the Hedgehog games, just from the physics and the level design and just everything about it. The sprites are really nice. The only thing few little issues I have with the game, occasionally the sprites will look a little weird, but really, it's a fan game, so don't be too hard on it. It's incredible. And, but just, it feels so much like a Sega game. He really understands, it seems like, the classic level design. When you're playing this, you're just like, oh yeah, this totally would happen between Sonic 2 and Sonic 3. I feel like this was made in the 90s. Like, it's just awesome. And also, he nailed the physics. I don't know exactly how to, obviously I'm not a game designer, I don't know how exactly you design this type of game. I know this was made, as said at the start and during all the logo stuff, this was made in some, thing called a Sonic World, or something like that, engine. I don't know much about it. I know more than one fan game have been made in it. This is the same engine that Before the Sequel was made in. I don't really know anything about it though, so I can't really say how the game design works. But as you see here, we just unlocked the special stage. So yes, this game actually does feature special stages to get the Chaos Emeralds. They are kind of like the ones from Sonic Heroes a bit, as in fact the designer actually said that the entire game was actually inspired a bit by Sonic Heroes. Which is cool, because I think Sonic Heroes is a fun game. So I'm really liking how some of the stuff you can definitely see is inspired by Sonic Heroes, especially some of the stages, like their motifs and stuff. I guess they're usually about tropes, actually. Their tropes and stuff like that are usually often inspired by Sonic Heroes. But as you can see, we already got the Chaos Emeralds, since Special Stage 1 is quite easy. I have not gotten all the Chaos Emeralds. Basically, the way they set it up for the main game is you have the story mode where you go through it, which is what I've gone through, and you automatically get the good ending. You don't have to worry about special stages. And then they have the original mode, which I'm going through right now, where if you get 30 rings, and then you can jump into the special ring at the end of each act, just like classic games, although it was 50 in the classic games. They put it down to 30 in this game, which is nice of them, because it makes it a little bit easier. But here we are in Act 2 of Horizon Heights Zone. As you can hear, the music for this act, I absolutely love it. This is better than the first act. It's super catchy. It makes you want to kind of get up and dance. as I said, I don't have time to read the stuff in the intro, so I don't know who did this one either. I know Act 3 was done by Falk, but I don't remember who did Act 2. You can just pause the video if you go back there, and you can find out who does it, if you would like to know. And they actually are going to be releasing the soundtrack separately. They haven't said when, but sometime this week, I think, they're going to be releasing the soundtrack separately. I'm definitely going to be downloading that. It's a really cool soundtrack for this game, and it's just got some really awesome tunes. I'm definitely going to be downloading it when it becomes available. You can listen to a lot of the tracks, I think almost all of them, on SoundCloud. If you just find each individual's artist pages, they'll usually have their tracks that they did for the game up on SoundCloud, so you can listen to them there if you just want to listen to the soundtrack. But I highly recommend you download the game, and of course then you can listen to it while playing the game, because it's just a really fun game. As you see, the level design, it's very platformy, which as it should be, since this is based off of the classic Sonic games, which obviously were more platform heavy than a lot of the more recent Sonic games have been. And yeah, he seems to really understand the classic idea of level design. And just, I don't know, I should have been this, I don't really feel like plugging Sonic Dissected again. If you haven't seen it before, you can go check out Roger Van de Weed's Sonic Dissected series. I'm going to keep plugging it because it's awesome. So, just type in Sonic Dissected to YouTube, you'll find it quite simply. He talks about level design, and he talks about Sonic the Hedgehog storylines, and how it should be, and the way it's messed up occasionally. It's just, he does really good stuff, and he's also quite funny. This channel name is Roger from Imp, I think, officially, and you can just type in Sonic Dissected, you can find it. So just, plugging someone else's series because it's fun, and because you should totally watch that. Now, obviously, if you're not a Sonic fan, probably shouldn't watch it. But then again, if you're also not a Sonic fan, you're probably not watching this video, since, yeah. This act does revolve a lot around platforming. As you see, we have all these rotating platforms and stuff, but there is absolutely nothing wrong with platforming in a Sonic game. They are called platformers for a reason. Some people seem to have this idea that they're entirely about speed, and I love speed. I am a huge fan of going mega fast in video games. I mean, it really doesn't matter pretty much what video game you give me. I'm going to try to speedrun it. I like speedrunning. It's fun. I find speedrunning to be really fun. I'm not maybe the best at it, but I do find it really fun. So, I love going fast. But I love good platforming games. I love Mario games. And obviously you can speedrun Mario games, which is, of course, what I like to do sometimes. But it's really fun to be able to explore levels, too. It shouldn't be all about speed, even if speed is a major part of the gameplay, like it is in a Sonic game. It should have platforming elements, too, which is why I'm actually pretty excited for Sonic Lost World. It's coming out at the end of the year, or actually we don't know exactly when it's coming out, but it should be by the end of the year. We don't know if it's like fall or holiday. I think they said holiday. But one thing, thing I'd like to say right now, the music for Act 3 is amazing. I just want to listen to this a little bit. So good. But this bit track is done by Falk. I remember this. One of the main features of this level is actually pretty creative. Basically, every time the lightning strikes, or I guess it only strikes, it flashes, then those platforms will be visible. So basically, this whole thing revolves around these invisible platforms you can only see when the lightning strikes, which is really creative. You don't see a lot of stuff like this. Like, basically, the main thing with this game that I find really awesome is that every single stage has its own unique gimmick. Now, some of them, you may be like, oh, this is kind of meh, but personally, I like almost all of them. Like, he actually found really cool ways to use all these different stuff he came up with in each stage really well. Like, a lot of times, sometimes you'll, come up with something new, and you'll think it's really cool, but it's kind of doesn't work as well as it ought to, but he did a really good job with making all of these different little things work well. Like, for instance, normally I'd find invisible platforms boring and, like, overdone. I don't know why. I would find invisible platforms kind of lame, but for some reason they work in this place. I don't know how he does it. I can't put my finger on it, but they work. They work really well. Mostly because it's sort of like they're predictable where they are, but okay, really sorry about that. I forgot to look at my timer and it cut off. But anyway, we had just come up from the underwater section, so we are back up here. And anyway, I was talking about invisible platforms, but yeah, they work really well in this level. I really like them. And as you can see, here they are. Basically, you can sort of predict where they are. Like, for instance, I can tell that... Come on, enemies. That is one thing I have to say. Occasionally, the enemies are a bit cheap. Most of the Badnik signs are actually new. Some of them are from previous Sonic games, but a lot of the Badnik signs are actually new for this game, which I think is really awesome. He put in his own Badniks. Like, that's really cool. He didn't just copy off of everything. So, I thought that's awesome, but occasionally they are a little bit weird. Most of them are quite well designed, but occasionally they can seem a little bit unfitting or cheap. And mostly the placement is great, but sometimes they'll just be like, oh, come on, that should not have been there. But it's a tiny little gripe, and there's so many, the rings are really well placed, so you really shouldn't have too much of an issue with dying here. Just, you know, and also one thing I really gotta say I like is there are barely any pits in this game. Like, bottomless pits are fine, but you can way overuse them, as you know, you can see from a game like Sonic Rush or Sonic Rush Adventure. Those games have kind of too many pits. So I really like how he didn't overuse pits in this game. Like, there are, basically, you fall and you think, oh, I'm gonna fall into a bottomless pit, but nope, it's actually another alternate path. Like, that is exactly how Sonic the Hedgehog games should be. Mostly, it should be alternate paths, only a few pits. Like, you fall down here, and, like, for instance, when I first see this, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna die. And then suddenly, no, it's like a whole underwater path, and you're supposed to do this. It's awesome. Also, one thing I forgot to point out, you'll notice, we are in an Aqua Shield. So he actually brought back the, elemental shields from Sonic 3, which I love, because I love the elemental shields. The only one not present is the, come on, seriously, enemy, is the, Thunder Shield. The Thunder Shield is not present, but, however, to make up for that, you saw that Aqua Shield there. It was actually giving us a double jump ability. Normally, it would give you that ability to, smash down on the ground and do, like, a bounce attack, but instead, they actually gave that ability to a new shield he actually invented for this game, the Spike Shield. And you're not going to see that in this level, and you're probably not going to see this in the video, since I'm not going to be doing anything besides, just Horizon Heights Zone, just because I don't really want to do too much in this game. I don't really feel like doing a Let's Play, which I don't really have time right now. I'm doing Sonic Adventure DX, obviously. And, oh no! Give me your air bubbles, give me your air bubbles. Okay, thank goodness. Phew. This is classic Sonic the Hedgehog. You will die from being underneath the water too long, and it even has, like, I think it even has the original music there. They just ripped that one. It may be a slight remix, can't exactly tell. But anyway, I think we are almost done with this level here. Just head over here, and yep, there we go. Into the level. We finished up that. I think next we are going to be going on to the boss. And that is one thing I gotta say, is only one of my only issues with the game. Most of the bosses are quite nice, but a few of the bosses feel kind of forced and just sort of not Sonic the Hedgehog-y. But most of them are pretty good. And you can see here, he actually has cutscenes. He made pretty cool, like, animated cutscenes. And uh-oh, it's an evil Tails robot that looks suspiciously like the Tails doll. Anyway. This boss, since it is the first boss, is pretty simple. Basically, whenever you see Tails come up there and he'll get supercharged, do not touch him when he is flashing like that, or else you will get hit. But whenever he is not flashing, just jump up, touch him, and that will do an attack. Really, really simple for this, but not particularly badly designed. And also, I gotta say, I like the rain effects and stuff. It looks really, really cool with, like, the chase scene bosses and stuff. Not the greatest boss design ever, but not anything bad. And some of the other boss designs later on you get are actually pretty cool. Like, for instance, this one boss that, basically, it, like, makes it different seasons all throughout the boss fight, or, like, different elements and stuff. So, like, he'll have, like, an ice attack, and then, like, something have, like, be, raining, and it'll be, storm clouds, and it'll shoot you with lightning and stuff. So it's, like, really, really cool the way he did, some of the bosses. And also, like, one of them, you have, like, you climb up this giant tower, and then you have to make Eggman fire his laser into different buttons to, like, make two giant robots fight each other in the background. I found that one to be really, really creative. Like, that one was really cool. You're sort of, like, having this giant robot fight and stuff in the background, and that is the boss fight. So basically, you have to make this robot hit Eggman. I thought that was really, really creative. So a lot of the boss fight in this game is pretty good, but some of them are just kind of meh. Like this one, it's not the greatest thing ever. And, what? I died? Oh, come on. Ugh. Yeah, some of the bosses on this game are pretty hard too, so just be really careful with your ring count, and this is actually, don't hit those things. That should go without saying, but, you know, I'll just say it, make sure you know. Do not hit the things that are glowy and, you know, look like they're going to kill you. Well, yeah, they do, as it just did. Come on, Mr. I'm not sure if that is the Tails doll or not, but it looks a whole lot like the Tails doll. I'm not sure if it is or not, but it probably is, considering fan game, and people tend to like the Tails doll. Or they don't like him, but they like being afraid of him or things like that. If you don't know what's up with the deal with the Tails doll, basically he was a character from Sonic R, which is a really old first Sonic racing game actually. And basically he was a character in that game who's sort of like basically a robot version of Tails, kind of like Metal Sonic, but just for Tails. But he always looked a little weird, like he kind of looks creepy. As you can see, he has like red eyes, sort of looks sort of disturbing. But some, you know, random loser on creepypasta made like creepypasta about him that made him into like some sort of demon thing or whatever. And so there's like this whole meme about the Tails doll, how it's gonna kill you and all this stuff like that. So yeah, that's the deal with the Tails doll if you don't know. I didn't know. I remember one of my friends a while back used to be all like, oh, the Tails doll, he's gonna kill you and stuff. And I'm like, what are you talking about? What on earth is the Tails doll? But I looked it up a while ago just because when I became a Sonic fan, I only became a Sonic fan like a couple years ago. It was like 2010, yeah. Because I got Sonic Unleashed for PS2 in 2010, and I actually liked it, which is good, because if I hadn't liked it, I wouldn't have become a Sonic fan, but the game kind of thinks, like, Sonic Unleashed is not that good of a game, but I liked it back then, so, hey, whatever. And, oh, okay, that was close. Yes, there we go, defeated the, I think, Tails doll, and also defeated Eggman, and got through Act 4. So we are going to end off this video here, and thanks everybody for watching this video. Make sure to comment on it, like it, and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss parts of the Let's Plays I'm doing and stuff. But yeah, so now we have the ending cutscene after we defeated him. So let's go and watch this here. Tails saves the day! Yay! Unfortunately, he also kind of scouted the Chaos Emeralds. But, you know, oh well. Hey, he saved Sonic. So, that's what counts, right? But anyway, and next you would go into Sugar Splash Zone, but we are going to end off here, so see you later.